Hi guys, hope everybody's doing well today. It's Mel, and for today's video, I want to talk about when the narcissist loses control. I want to address when the narcissist basically has a narcissistic collapse because they can no longer control you, the relationship, or the situation. So let's dive right in. The first thing that I want you to think about is when you've been in a situation and you're with the narcissist, and whether the relationship is over, you finally decided to set a boundary, or you basically start ignoring them, or many times you moved on with your life, and suddenly the person that you seem so cool and collected with is turning into somebody that you don't recognize. So when you see those type of signs or those type of behaviors, that is the sign or the behavior of a narcissist that's losing control. So you have to understand that a narcissist's entire life is built on controlling people. They control everything. They want to control you. They want to control the relationship. They want to control your emotions. They want to control your story. They want to control the entire relationship. So when that narcissist realizes that that control is being threatened, their fake or their false self feels extremely exposed. Again, this is when the mask comes off. And when that mask finally comes off or they feel exposed, it leads them getting desperate and a very, very ugly reaction towards you. So let's talk about why the narcissist loses control and why it's like their worst nightmare. The first thing that you have to realize is that the narcissist's whole life is based on their ego. And when someone's life is based on their ego is basically what builds their confidence, right? But you have to understand that the narcissist's confidence is a facade. Underneath that confidence that they show you, it's basically a lot of shame and a lot of insecurity. And so the only way for the narcissist not to deal with having that shame or being insecure about the way their life is, they have to control everything. In other words, the control is the armor that protects their ego. If they don't have that control, they feel lost. They feel completely, completely destroyed. So the ego is like a shield for them. And when that ego is destroyed, there's no way a narcissist is not going to explode. The next reason why the narcissist acts really crazy when they lose control is because they're losing a source of their narcissistic supply. And we all know that the supply can be positive attention, it could be negative attention, it doesn't matter what it is. As long as a narcissist gets supply, they don't care who or what it's coming from. So their supply could also be admiration from others. The supply could be something as crazy as fear. Anything that builds their emotional pattern, that's exactly what the narcissist uses as supply. And when you withdraw the supply, it's like you're cutting off the air. In other words, when a narcissist has a supply from you, it's almost something like oxygen. You could kind of say it's like an emotional type of oxygen. So if you dare to cut off that supply, when you set that boundary, you just completely go ghost, you stop dealing with the narcissist, they don't know what to do. And again, they start to lose control. Many times with the narcissist, when they lose control, you also see the fake narcissist versus the real narcissist. Now, they have a perfect, grandiose type of self. In other words, they're fake. And when they present to the world, they act like they're so big, they're so bad, they're perfect, everything is good. But when that narcissist loses that control from you, this threatens to reveal how insecure the narcissist really is. And we all know the narcissist is a very damaged person. A narcissist is like, how can I put it? A narcissist is a very empty, bottomless soul. All right? They're very empty. There's always something missing. You taking that control away from them, or you setting up that boundary to put them basically in their place to say, hey, you have to behave better, you have to act better. Narcissist is gonna go crazy. They can't deal with that. Why do you think there's so many stories on Dateline? Because this is when a typical or classical narcissist loses control. And what do they have to do? They act when they lose it. They act off impulse after losing control. Many times, when the narcissist loses control, it's like you trigger something in them. All right? And how do you trigger it? How do you trigger that anger? Because you basically set a boundary. And you setting that firm boundary by saying no to the narcissist, and then you're trying to enforce it at the same time, that narcissist is not going to deal with it. A narcissist does not like anything that spells rules or anything that says, listen, I need you to act this way, I need you to behave this way. Because you are putting that narcissist under subjection. When you put that person under subjection, or you basically put them under manners, and you say, listen, I'm not going to tolerate this type of behavior, the narcissist cannot deal with that. And this is why some of them become enraged, they become infuriated when you try to set those boundaries. So the question here is, it's like, how and which way can you still set boundaries without without you getting that narcissist to explode on you? Well, I think one of the first ways, or the first thing to do, is to become indifferent towards a narcissist. Now, when I say become indifferent, I don't mean that you're going to start showing the narcissist that you hate them, or you're going to start, curse them out or what have you. What you're going to do when you become indifferent to the narcissist, and this is for some of you that actually live with the narcissist, or this is the narcissist that you can't avoid. Because I could sit here and I could talk about, ignore the narcissist, block the narcissist, disappear from the narcissist, ghost on the narcissist. But in reality, there's some narcissists that you just cannot avoid. There's some narcissists that you just cannot ignore. So what you have to do to help set that boundary is you have to become indifferent with that narcissist. And how do you become indifferent? You simply stop reacting to the narcissist. Okay? Or if that doesn't work, you can also gray rock the narcissist. And I would essentially say that when you're gray rocking the narcissist, it's also a sign of indifference, because when you're gray rocking the narcissist, you are basically giving the narcissist these very quote unquote gray responses. In other words, you become so boring to the narcissist. So you could either do the gray rock method, or if not, as I said, you be indifferent. You don't show them any reactions. You don't show them if you're very angry. You don't show them if you're happy. Just keep it very simple with the narcissist, because indifference is one of the best ways that you could actually set the boundary with the narcissist too. Another way that you also put the narcissist, I don't want to say put them in their place, but another way that you set boundaries with the narcissist is that you expose the truth. Now, everybody knows that the narcissist's the truth is a narcissist's poison. Whenever you call out their behavior to them or to others, that narcissist is going to snap. Because the narcissist is looking at it as, well, I'm perfect. I never did anything wrong. I don't want to deal with that shame. How dare you call out my misbehavior? How dare you try to correct me? A narcissist doesn't like that, because a narcissist, again, feels like you're striking down their ego. You're striking them down as a person. They feel like you're putting them down. Now, what's ironic about it is the narcissist is the hypocrite. The narcissist can talk bad about you. They could say whatever they want to say about you. They could tell you that your behavior isn't right. They could call you out. But how dare you call the narcissist out? All right? So they don't like that. They don't like when you expose the truth. The next way that the narcissist loses control is when you move on. Now, when you move on from a narcissist, trust me, and what is crazy is, even if that narcissist is somebody that has another supply, when you move on, you go cold turkey. This is when the narcissist is going to lose the most control, because you have physically or emotionally exit the relationship. You stop dealing with that narcissist, and they can't stand that. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, and I'm talking about maybe like a love relationship with a narcissist, the narcissist wants to be the one to end it, because remember, when they end the relationship, they leave a door just in case they want to come back or they want to open it up again. Because remember, a narcissist never really gets rid of their supply. A narcissist leaves their toys, aka supplies. They put them on a shelf for a while. So when they leave you, or you discard them through a reverse discard or just a regular discard, while that narcissist goes out and works on getting another supply, that narcissist is going to put you on the shelf, because they want to ensure that they could always come back and pick up where they left off. Now, in my opinion, personally, I believe these people are delusional, because my whole thing is, if it's me and I believe we're having a relationship and you just leave me because you want to go run the streets and you want to go pick someone else up and you want to go experiment and play games with someone else, and if you think that you could just come back over here, you're absolutely crazy or you're absolutely delusional. But again, you have to understand, in a narcissist's mind, they're in control. They run things. They run the show. So they want you to just sit around and wait for them to get all of their shit out. And then when they get everything out, they kind of come back to you. Because I can tell you that it never works out. Whenever they call themselves leaving, and they want to put you on a shelf for a while, and they want to waste time and run around with other people, those fly by night relationships never work. It never works. And this is where the narcissist has to come back and try to hoover again. But if you think that when you finish that relationship with that narcissist and you decide you want to leave them, they are going to lose control because they don't like it. They want to be the one to discard you. They want to be the one to hoover. They want to be the one to pick you back up. So that's another way that the narcissist loses control, aka having a narcissistic collapse. Because remember, that narcissist can't trap you anymore. They can't put you in that web anymore. They can't spin you around anymore because you've finally taken control. And now that you've taken the control away from the narcissist is infuriated. It's actually a rhetorical question. How dare you leave? How dare you move on? How dare you get a life? How dare you stop dealing with me? How dare you stop taking my abuse? How dare you stop taking my disrespect? How dare you stop taking me cheating on you? How dare you stop taking me dumping you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times? It's like you become a yo-yo to the narcissist, in and out, in and out. And you don't want to deal with that type of yo-yo because it's an emotional setback. It's like your mind, your heart is never at rest because you're trying to figure out exactly how to deal with that narcissist and when that narcissist is losing control. So you leaving that relationship, when you exit physically, I think the biggest breaking point is when you leave emotionally, because I don't care, how much you're dealing with somebody, you're having a physical relationship. And when I mean physical, you're doing things together, you're doing activities together, or you're even being intimate with the narcissist. But when your mind has checked out and they know that you have checked out, they don't sit well with that. They don't sit well with that because they think and they believe that you belong to them and they're supposed to spin you around and waste your time. A narcissist does not like you to invest your time into someone or something else. And this kind of segues into the other way that the narcissist loses control. When that narcissist, that selfish hypocritical narcissist, because they're selfish. And when I say that they're selfish, they want everything for themselves. They only want their happiness, what they perceive to be happiness, because a narcissist is never happy. They want all your time. They're very selfish. They're very mean with your time. They want to waste your time, waste everything. When you decide to pull back and stop dealing with them and you say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to take this shit anymore. I'm going to go out and I'm going to try to find happiness somewhere else. When you find happiness somewhere else without them, trust you me, your success and your joy without that narcissist, it basically invalidates that narrative that you need them. Because again, a narcissist, based on their stupid ego, they think everybody needs them. They think they're a gift to you. They think they're doing you a favor by dealing with you. All right? A narcissist does not like for you to sit there and think that you're moving on. It's not going to work. It is not going to work. They have to be the one in constant control. They have to narrate that relationship. But when you decide to exit that story and you say, you know what, I'm not going to be a part of your stupid narrative no more. I'm not going to waste my time. The narcissist is going to become infuriated. They're going to become angry. And this is the beginning of you taking your power back. By you exiting, whether physically or emotionally. In my opinion, I think when somebody is emotionally checked out, that's it. Because you can be there. A lot of these relationships, you have a lot of people you see together. Please don't let them fool you. They're there in body, but they're not there in spirit and mind. They've already checked out. And imagine how you feel when you are dealing with the narcissist and you believe the narcissist checked out. Well, when you do the same and you check out, that narcissist is going to lose control because they realize that they can no longer, quote unquote, control you anymore. They don't have the first and the last word anymore. They don't dictate where you go. They don't dictate what you do. And as a result, some of them become violent. If it's a malignant narcissist that can't control what you're doing, the fact that you're going out and you're enjoying yourself with other people, you're going to social events. And that's another thing too. When you break away from the narcissist, It doesn't necessarily mean that you got to pick up somebody else to enjoy yourself. You have to know how to learn and how to enjoy your own time. You don't need a crowd and company to enjoy your time. This is where the self-esteem comes in. You got to be able to enjoy yourself, enjoy your time, and have your own peace without having people dictate when you come and go. Narcissist does not like that. All right? They don't like it. They don't like when you become independent and you basically discarded them. It becomes a major narcissistic injury for them. And so I also want to get into the fact that when the narcissist is losing control, they also show you signs that they're losing control. Other than them being infuriated, let me just touch on some of the signs and show you some of the ways that the narcissist basically loses control. The drama, this is where the drama starts to unfold. So the very first thing is that rage. It's that anger. And when the narcissist rages, it's not a regular rage like when you and I, the empath, gets angry, because everybody gets angry. Narcissists or not, we're all human beings. We all have our moments and our days and our times, but I'm talking about when they get angry. Their anger is very explosive, all right? And what they do is, I'll give you an example. When you've infuriated or made that narcissist angry, they start yelling. And a big thing that they like to do is, even after the yelling, some of them like to go silent on you. Because again, the narcissist feels like if they talk to you, you're so lucky. So some of them use a silent treatment to punish you. That's another way that they rage on you. It's very ironic because it's like you think that with a rage, it's always yelling and screaming. No, when a narcissist goes silent, that's also part of their rage. Because think about it, they're very angry with you. They're infuriated with you. So another way to control you is they punish you by not speaking to you. So that way you don't step out of line again. This is another way that the narcissist controls you. And when they can't do it anymore, they become very angry. So how do you fix that? How do you change that with the silent treatment? Very simple. I've said it in countless amount of my videos. When you check out this channel, when I talk about the narcissist and the silent treatment, I've said it. When a narcissist goes silent on you, when they think they want to punish you, you ignore their ass right back. You see, I'm so different because me personally, the stage I'm at in my life, when anyone goes silent on me, whether it's a narcissist, an avoidant, a non-narcissist, whatever, whoever it is, when you go silent on me, I match your energy. I do the same shit. As a matter of fact, it's a blessing when you go silent because maybe I didn't really care for you in the end and I didn't really want to deal with your ass anyway. So you going silent or you going ghost, good luck. Boy, bye. It doesn't make a difference. And whether this is a personal relationship or a regular relationship, or it doesn't matter if it's a love relationship or a friendship. I don't even care if it's a co-worker relationship. When you go silent, this is a relief. Go about your business. All right? So this is the other way they control you, or they try to regain that control by doing the silent treatment. So my whole thing is, if a narcissist ignored me, I'd ignore their ass right back. Get a life. Go ahead. Do what you need to do. Okay? The next thing is you see that fury. Like, sometimes you see, like, even in their eyes. Now, you always hear other influencers talk about narcissists having the black eyes and they get angry in their eyes. And I've witnessed the eyes. I remember a narcissist that was so infuriated with me. We were at a social event. And the way that narcissist looked at me, I tell you, if his eyes could have cut me in half, they would have cut me in half. He told me so much with his eyes because he was infuriated, he was angry because he couldn't control what I was doing. And so he's not stupid. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't going to come and say anything in public. But the way he looked at me spoke volumes. So that's another thing that they do when they're losing control. You see that anger, you see that fury, you see that hate, that animosity in their eyes. They basically control you with their eyes. Okay? But when they do all these things, just keep in mind that it's their ego. Whenever you hurt their ego, they have to act this way. They have to explode, in other words. Okay? They have to let you know that they're angry. That's how they do it. The next way that the narcissist reacts when they lose control is the famous smear campaign. And if you get a moment, check out the video on this channel talking about the smear campaign. Now, narcissists, whether you're leaving them, whether they're having a collapse, whether they're quote unquote still with you in body, because again, they're never with you in mind, their mind's all over the place. The narcissist always does that smear campaign. But in the context of this video, we're gonna stick on the time when they smear you because they've lost control of you. So what they do is, because they've lost control of you, they're going to try to control what other people think of you. In other words, they use other people's perceptions or other people's views of you to control you. So if they can get enough people to hate you or to gang up on you, the narcissist has succeeded. But here's what I say to that smear campaign. Fuck the narcissist, fuck the minions, or fuck the flying monkeys, fuck the people that they did that smear campaign with. You don't give a flying fuck. Because anybody that believes that fucking narcissist was never in your corner anyway. So they're going to sit up there and they're going to smear you or listen to the narcissist smearing you. Then let me explain to you, that person is not your person. All right? And I don't know, I always make lemonade out of lemons. If me personally, me Mel, if I discover that somebody's smearing me, oh, you ain't saying nothing but a word. I cut you right off the way I cut the narcissist off. What does that mean? Don't call me, don't talk to me, don't even make eye contact with me. You and the narcissist can go fuck off. Because let me tell you, they say birds of a feather flock together. So you stay with your flock, I'm going to stay with my herd, or I'm going to stay with my pack. You stay with yours. Okay? So this is what they do. They smear the fuck out of you. They talk a lot of shit about you. In other words, what they also try to do is they try to, when they're doing that smear campaign, they like to triangulate also. And they like to play the victim to anyone that will listen. So what they do is, as we know, triangulation, think about it. They're bringing other people in it. So this relationship or this bond or whatever, this friendship is between you and the narcissist, right? If this narcissist is going around smearing you with other people, they're triangulating because they're bringing third parties into it. Now I'm gonna tell you a quick story time. I remember when I was dealing, with one of the narcissists, because I've told you guys in these videos. Oh my gosh, I know so much of them. Literally, I should have started talking about this years ago, but as I said at the time, I didn't really know what I was dealing with. But I remember one narcissist that was doing triangulation, and the narcissist went and told one of the flying monkeys all this crap. Now this flying monkey, she wouldn't really come out and just confront me, because let me tell you something. They know some of the shit is some of the stories are lies. Fuck it, all the stories are lies. But they have to be very cunning in the way they try to confront you, because remember, they're working on behalf of the narcissist, so they know they can't just come out because they don't want to blow their cover. But you already know whose team or whose side they're on. And I remember she would come to me and she would say little subtle things every once in a while. I remember one day I said to her, when she said something to me, I said to her, I said, I have a question. The narcissist and I broke up how many months ago now? How is my name coming up in the conversation? Why are you guys talking about me? To this day, the bitch hasn't answered me. She didn't have an answer. You see, the job of that flying monkey was just to deliver the narcissist message to me, to make me feel bad, to put me down, to emotionally destroy me. So, I don't know, maybe it's the blessing of God, the Spirit of God. That was my reaction. I said, how did my name come up? I said, I'm not troubling you. I'm not bothering you. I don't know what the narcissist is doing. I didn't say narcissist, but I said, I don't know what this person is doing. So how is my name, or why is my name coming up in your conversation? I mean, I'm out of sight, out of mind. And that just showed me that the minion and the narcissist were still on my name day in and day out. It's like, in other words, I rocked their world. I mean, I'm not going to say it was flattering, but you get the point. You get the gist. I nipped it in the bud by asking her why my name is being brought up. The bitch didn't have an answer. And the simple answer is, you're on my name all day, every day. And this is what they do. They triangulate. They bring a third party or unnecessary people into the equation. In other words, they bring people that have no business in you and his story, or you and her story, into it. And these fools, because remember, they work for the narcissist, they join in. Now, if it's me personally and a narcissist, well, no narcissist could ever recruit me, because, again, I don't give a shit. I'm to the point now where I don't even fucking listen. I'd be like, yep. I'd be like, well, I gotta go. Or I just change the subject. I'm not gonna be a part of no flying monkeys trend. Okay, I'm not gonna be doing that. But this is what they do. When they lose control, they get people or other people to smear you. All right. Now, the next thing that they do is when they're losing control, they hoover. They try to suck you back in like that vacuum. Now, they could hoover whether you're still supposedly in the relationship with them, and they could also hoover when the relationship is done. And how do they hoover? They basically send their flying monkeys. Let's say you break up with them. My hoovers used to come from the narcissist flying monkeys. In other words, telling me things like, oh, he's not doing well, and oh, he's sick, and oh, things are going really good for him. He's making better money now and everything. And I'm like, yo, bitch, I didn't ask. I don't give a fuck. If I really wanted to know, I would have picked up the phone because, I still had the narcissist number. We didn't block each other. And so if I wanted to know, all I had to do is just pick up the phone and call. And as bad as it was, a narcissist could call me too and say whatever they want to say. But again, I'm not entertaining nobody phone calls. But that's what they do. They hoover you through people because what they do is they ensure that other people tell you how they're doing to try to entice you to say, oh, they're doing good now, so maybe you shouldn't have ended it, or look, bitch, you're missing out. That's another way to hoover. And again, I had that same narcissist literally send a family member of mine to tell me, how they were doing. And again, that family member that tried to deliver the message, once I got off the phone with that person, I blocked their ass too. So the message was back to sender. Don't send me no fucking messages. If you got something to say to me, you can say it to my face. You can send me a message if I haven't blocked you, or you could pick up the phone and call me. But don't send nobody to tell me nothing. Stand behind your balls. If you was bold enough to disrespect me and you got something to say now, stand behind your balls and speak to me. All right? So that's what they do. They hoover through other people when they lose control. And they also do it because they figure, you have to remember, depending on the way they discard you, they're ashamed. So it's kind of hard for them to come to you and say, hey, can we talk, and so forth. Again, they have lost control. They have lost exactly what they thought they had instilled in you. So now they have to find a way to regain it. And what better way to regain that control by hoovering through another person? The next way that they hoover you is sometimes you haven't completely left the relationship with a narcissist. I guess they say you're living like brothers and sisters. You're just existing in the home, or you're just roommates. And what they'll do is, although the narcissist knows that the relationship is broken down, because that's another thing too. The narcissist, when they first meet you, they get crazy, they love bomb you. But after a while, they start to devalue. And this is when the narcissist realizes the relationship is broken down. So what I was essentially saying is, when the narcissist is re-love bombing you, again, it's fake because the narcissist has been done. They've been detached from you with that relationship. But remember, they realize there's so much for them to lose. Now, for example, let's say it's a case where then you have filed for divorce from the narcissist, and that narcissist does not want to go through going to court. If you have children, they don't want to pay child support. If you have any assets together, a home, you have your vehicles, you have, your vehicles / your cars, you have your accounts together, you have investments, you have properties, they don't want to lose it. So they start to hoover you again. And how do they hoover? They start buying you little gifts, and they start doing things. And some of the bitches will even lie and say, oh, babes, let's work it out. Let's go to therapy and everything. They just want to get you comfortable again. Because that narcissist does not want to lose that supply that you provide, especially if you are or you were the grade A supply. And that's another video when we talk about the differences with supply, the grade A supply versus the other supply. All right. The grade A supply is a primary supply. The supply that basically, the grade A supply is the narcissist's lifeline. This is the supply that basically ensures that the narcissist is doing well and the narcissist is living good. As much as they're behaving badly and they're treating you terribly, they do not want to lose that supply. They do not want to lose control of that. Because once that narcissist loses that supply, all right, they are just shit out of luck. The next thing the narcissist does when they lose control is they engage in something that we call self-destructive behaviors. And it's self-explanatory. So what they do is they start doing stupid shit. Like, let's say you're the narcissist, have money to put together. They start spending your money. They start blowing it. They start buying unnecessary things. They're going on these stupid ass shopping sprees, trying to show you how attractive they are and how they're looking great. They're like trying to keep you. All right. Some of them get very promiscuous. Some of them, they start like sleeping around. And how is it self-destructive? They're going around having unprotected sex with a lot of people. In other words, they're going out, catching STDs, bringing it back to you. Not only can it destroy their health, it could also destroy your health. So they do stupid shit like that when they're out of control. All right, I'm sorry, when they lose control. They start getting out of control. They start doing a lot of crazy ass shit. If it's a narcissist that you've officially left and you're not dealing with them, what that narcissist is going to do, once you and them broke up and they realize they can't control you, they go on like a fucking spree. They just keep going up and down, fucking everybody. Because, again, whoever they're getting that attention from, that validation, it's making them feel good. They're like, oh, this one wants me, this one admires me. So that's what they do. So that behavior is very self-destructive. A lot of them also do a lot of substance abuse. Some of them smoke a lot. Some of them drink a lot. Right? And these are things that they do when they realize that their world is collapsing. And I'll tell you, a narcissist that I know, and from what I hear, I have never seen a narcissist or a person drink like this. Again, this narcissist that I know, in my opinion, I believe this narcissist suffers from depression. And there's always something wrong. So to numb that pain, when he has lost everything, the alcohol becomes his water. All right? That's what they do. When they lose control, they have a lot of substance abuse. Either they're promiscuous or they start having, different types of addictions. They feed on their addictions. And substance abuse is one of the things that they do when they start to lose control. So they just have a lot of self-destructive behavior. The next thing that they finally do, and I think is this, after going through all of that, after the mask has completely slipped off and they rage out and, they start telling you stupid shit. They're like, oh, you won't be able to get nobody else. Nobody else gonna love you like I do. What's that song? You'll never find. That's what they tell you in so many words. They'll start telling you, oh, nobody's ever gonna love you. You can't get nobody. Nobody's gonna deal with you. Nobody's ever going to do anything. When somebody says to you, nobody else will ever love you, they're just telling you, they're revealing their true contempt. Okay? They're revealing their true contempt towards you. Because what they're essentially they're trying to tell you that, listen, bitch, you ain't going nowhere. You will never find love. You're not worthy of anybody else loving you. Again, the narcissist is putting you down in that rage. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm dealing with somebody, you're telling me that nobody's ever going to love me and I'm a nobody and you're calling me names. What the fuck makes you think that I'm going to sit there and stay with you? This is how fucking dumb they are. They believe by putting you down, you're going to say, oh, I guess you're right. Nobody's ever going to love me again, so I'm going to stay here and take your abuse for the rest of my life. Get the fuck out of here. This is how delusional and stupid they are. Again, you got to disconnect from those type of people. So when that mask comes off completely and they've cussed you out, they told you everything, they tell you you're worthless, they tell you you're a piece of shit, they tell you you're a fucking dog, that nobody wants you, they tell you stink, they tell you can't cook. Listen, they'll tell you every fucking thing to throw you under the bus. They hit, as they say, the narcissist hits below the belt. What they finally do, because other than sit in the corner and cry like a little bitch, what they'll do is they'll just go ahead and play the victim. They'll play the victim again. And how they play the victim, God forbid, some of them like to threaten self-harm. Some of them get very depressed, or they could verbally tell you they're very depressed, or they go around telling people that they're very depressed because of what happened. They'll tell people, oh, you're stressing me out. I don't know what I've done to you. Another famous thing that a narcissist likes to do when they're losing control, when they realize they can no longer walk all over you. They'll say, oh, I don't know what I've done to you to make you behave like this. Why are you doing this to me? I was good to you. No, you wasn't fucking good. Because if you was good, we would not be at where we at right now. You knew that you was a fucking asshole. You knew you did all the fuck shit during the relationship. You were never good. All right? But, again, in every story, in every narrative, the narcissist has to be the hero. they're either the hero or they're the victim. When in point of fact, those motherfuckers are always the villain. They want to be the hero. They want everybody to admire their ass. Okay? And when they say they're the victim, they want everybody to feel sorry for them. Mind you, all the shit that they done did to you, they don't take no fucking accountability for it. Because again, a narcissist and that fragile ego always has to be protected. That ego cannot suffer a wound or a bruise. If it does, that's it. They're done. They can't take not being able to control everything. All right? And so what they also do is, once they know that they have lost control, what they do is they supposedly discard you. Now, when they feel like you're slipping away, what they might want to do is they want to one-up you. And what I mean by that is they want to get rid of you first. They want to call the shots. They want to say, okay, I got rid of that bitch. All right. Some of these guys, what they'll do is, especially when they break up with you, they'll go in the streets and they'll tell people, oh, I dumped that bitch. I didn't want anything to do with her no more. That bitch is stupid. That bitch is whack. She's no good. That bitch is a loser. She's a lowlife. They got to one-up you. That's the way they control. Because remember, if that narcissist is controlling the narrative that he got rid of you first, and again, I'm speaking from, a woman's point of view here. If that narcissist can control that he got rid of you first, that makes him look good in front of people. But here's what you do. And here's what I think anybody should do when a narcissist loses control. You don't give a flying fuck what that narcissist does after he or she loses control after you. You don't talk with that narcissist. You don't explain yourself to that narcissist. You don't justify yourself to those fucking minions / flying monkeys. You don't question that narcissist. You don't say one fucking thing other than keep your distance or ghost. They're just going to have to suffer a narcissistic injury because you are not going to be engaged in that bullshit anymore. That's exactly what you do. You stay away. You leave it alone. You don't question. You don't fight with them. You don't try to change shit. See, this is where you start loving yourself, and this is where you start healing from the fuck shit and the nonsense that the narcissist did to you. Remember, this is a broken person. You can't fix somebody that's broken. You can't fix somebody that has all these stupid ass issues that they refuse to go and get some fucking therapy for. Because it's going to make them look bad in front of their friends and their family. Oh, I can't let my boys know I'm going to therapy. Oh, what's my mama going to think if I go to therapy? Fuck that. Leave them alone. They're very broken. And nothing is worse or harder to deal with than a broken person losing control. It is not your job or your responsibility to fix that broken narcissist. It is not your job or your responsibility to make them regain what they have lost in life. You can't bring back all the things that they never fixed in their life. You can't fix it for them. So please don't try to do it. So I hope this helps you. The takeaway from today is that just be mindful that when you're dealing with a narcissist that loses control, it is a very hard road to cross. And what I mean by that is that you can't fix it, but then you're thinking about if you should go forward and leave it alone. My opinion, I would just try my best to walk away and disengage from that toxicity. You can't sit there and let somebody who does not have your best interest continually control you or control the narrative that they're the one who's going to be running your life. If they have deep-rooted issues that they need to work out, you just got to let them. Loving the narcissist more or showing the narcissist more affection and more love is not going to change the story with the narcissist. They're only going to get worse. You know why they're going to get worse? Because they believe that you're always going to be there to deal with their shit. You don't want to deal with something like that. It's not emotionally healthy. So I hope that helps you. Again, if you're dealing with a narcissist that has lost control, you feel they're losing control, take care of you, get yourself together, disengage, move away from that toxicity, and everything should eventually work out fine for you. People, thank you so much for listening. If this channel or this message resonates with you, please comment, like, subscribe, share the content, pass it to someone that you might think would be beneficial to hear this. Let them know exactly what you're doing and how you're healing. Maybe that could help somebody out. All right? Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I thank you so much for your time.